Hello one and all and welcome to round 9 of the LOE Division 2 Championship. We are here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. We've got a grid of 17 drivers here to take on one of the most iconic tracks on the F1 calendar. I am of course joined as usual by Verstappen. How you doing, mate?
Doing pretty good. But you?
Yeah, I'm not doing too badly myself. Yep. So thankfully we have everyone piling into the stream, which is great to see. Do try and be interactive, of course. We want to get as much chatter going on down there as we can. We'll also get back to you in that. So yeah, just offer your opinions on the race in the stream chat is what we like to hear. Anyway, looking at the first cars on track, as it seems is a theme. Gary Donegan is the first man out there in that racing point. Of course, has been in the championship race since the start. And of course, having lost that championship lead in the last race, he is going to look to strike right back. Gary Donegan now to take on the rest of the D2 grid. And yeah, we'll see how he gets on here on the, as I say, a championship race hots up as we near the midway point of the season. Gary Donegan, let's see if he can get himself right back into it.
Yes, RT Dan has taken over the championship leads by consistent driving, as we know from him. He's now on 107 points, and 8 points behind is Gary, and 5 points behind that again is Cookie Game. So those three are all very close still.
Yeah, it's probably the tightest championship race out of all the divisions, which is great to see. Hopefully this keeps going. Of course, you know, Gary, since Monaco, his form has just dropped off a little bit. And you know, when you look at Dan, he's only had 2 races where he's not finished in the top 5. That kind of consistency now being rewarded. So Gary's going to have to get his mojo back. Cookie as well, trying to find form again. He's not won a race since the 3rd round of China. So but the guys that were leading the championship early on now of course have that new threat of Dan, who is, as per usual, his consistent top results have served him well. But anyway, look at Gary Donegan now on his first flying lap here to open things up, going on to the Wellington straight there in overtake mode, getting up. You can see well over 300 kilometers an hour, we're over 200 miles an hour at the end of the straight. 4th gear through the apex there of Brooklands, then into Luffield, trying to keep it as tight as possible and then run it out on the exit. Short step to 3rd and 4th, uses all the track on the exit. That's a good run from Gary, of course, on his first lap. You wouldn't expect it to be his quickest. Of course, strategy is quite simple here, so you won't be seeing too much variation in strategy. Most of the drivers, I assume, will be going on those soft tyres. Gary through Maggots, Beckett's, and now through Chapel there in 5th gear, trying to keep as much momentum as he can. Could have maybe gone a bit more aggressive on exit, but it's his first lap. He does not want to make an error. Now going through final sector here, the fantastic Stowe corner. Drivers have been warned on track limits not to go beyond the curb. Gary, very clean actually, keeps it nicely. All 4 wheels still on the track. Now down into the Vale now Club, 2nd gear up to 3rd, goes over the curb, and then full throttle right up to the line. Gary Donegan opens it with a 26.8. We'll see what the other drivers are able to do, as Callum just about 2 tenths slower. So Gary, not a bad banker lap. We'll see how the rest of the field stacks up.
Comments list, a bit off, 8 tenths behind Gary, with Eduk actually not taken up the half for at least 5 races I know about. Just in mind, Gary, very impressive lap already.
Yeah, Eduk, of course, hasn't started too positively since after coming up from D3. He's got a couple of points finishes, which isn't anything to be sniffed at, but hopefully he'll look to be a real contender. I was watching Dan at the end of this lap, and he only manages to put up a 27.3, which is only good for the 2nd slowest of the times so far. Cookie Games, though, the other championship contender, pops himself in 2nd, about 200 behind Gary. So we do have a very competitive grid here. Harry and Eduk, Nico as well, they're all right up there within a 10th of a second of each other. So very tight.
5 drivers winning a 10th. This just symbolizes D2, doesn't it? As the new driver in D2, in the Ferrari actually, Malpi, Just got himself a 27 flat, and moving up from D4 to D2. That's a really good lap already for him.
Yeah, he's made a very good account of himself there, putting himself right up against, right up amongst some more vetted drivers as well. So good going from Murphy there. We'll see if he's able to keep that run of form going. Just looking at the chat, McCrew says hello. Hello, McCrew. I believe he got on the podium in the pre-season race, and he has been impressing throughout. Actually, no, he's not racing. So yeah, rep. And then we also
he has a fair share of good results so far. So
he has, of course. There was the second place in Bahrain. That one really sticks out. Done well in Monaco as well, despite the penalties that he picked up in that race. Also got Super Gamer in the chat there. So yeah, we've got an incredibly close grid. Still 4 guys haven't set a time yet. Oh, make that 3. Lovely commentator's jinx there. And there's and Dylan improves, goes 800s quicker than Gary. Makes a statement there, and the times begin to fall as we get further into the session. Just over 6 minutes in, Iro Dylan top of the timesheets for now.
Yeah, and he'll be looking to get a good result in after a few not too great results. Of course, his China and Spain races were quite impressive. Didn't do badly in France either. But after the points score in Austria, he's looking to get back into those points once again.
Yeah, quite a quiet point in the session right now. A lot of cars in the pits. I don't think anyone's on a flying lap, so we're going to have to rely on myself and Verstappen's rambling skills. Hopefully we're able to we're able to do the business in that regard. I believe the next car onto our lap is going to be Adri, the Spaniard.
The mediums. Wait, that's actually quite. No, never mind. He's now on the softs. Yeah, they had the best tires.
Be his best time. Yeah, even though he's not set a time. So we'll see how he's able to get on now on the softs, get a more representative time from the defending, well, not defending, but the reigning D3 champion. Goes to turn 1, 8th gear, over 300 kilometers an hour there, massively quick corner. Now shifting down into village, takes it in 3rd gear, takes nice line going through there. Now 2nd gear on the exit of turn 4, opening up the taps now. DRS, that rear wing flicks open to give him maximum top speed down this straight there, minimum drag, breaking down into Brooklands, takes a very wide entry there, trying to get as good an exit out of the corner as he can. Very tight line through Luffield, now onto the exit, gets on the throttle nice and early, up into 7th gear overtake mode, over 300 kilometers an hour yet again, and just a slight lift on the entry to Cops. You can take it flat out, and I think might see a couple of the braver drivers going for that. Andrew, of course, without a time on the board, maybe just leaving a little bit still on the table, wants to get a solid time in. Now going through exit of Chapel, opens the DRS once again, hanger straight now, got a bit of traffic up ahead. Hopefully they don't interfere with his lap there. He was purple in the 2nd sector apparently, so good going. Now down 5th gear, exit of Stowe, opens it up yet again, a short sprint down to Vale. Nico in the way, and that's not great. Yeah, that's not great to see. Nico, I don't think he was anticipating Adler being there, and not for the first time this season. This young Spaniard interfering with drivers on their laps. That's not good to see.
Yeah, definitely not. It's a difficult point because drivers are lining up their laps, while may others be on their laps already, looking to finish. It's tough points. So, yep. It's not really too surprising that we see some sort of instance of people getting held up. But well, we'll have to see. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. We don't love to see that, of course.
Well, speaking of Nico, we're just going to go on board of him for the remainder of this lap. Of course, he had a bit of a scare at the start of it. We'll see if his mindset is still up for it there. As again, just a slight lift. Going through Cops now, and up to 8th gear now, trying to maximise. We've got full course yellows, which I think is just different cars in different sectors letting others through. Dylan, of course, still at the top of the timesheets there with a 26.8. Nico about a 10th and a half off that, but yeah, he's almost 3 tenths up on his lap at the moment. This is looking like a big lap for the former D3 driver now. Going through Stowe onto the curb on exit there, gets a nice run down into the Vale, hard on the brakes, and a big lap from Edoc there. He goes to the top. Matty G's disconnected, so hopefully we can get him back in. Nico now through, run up to the line. He goes fastest by sub distance, a 26.5, almost 2 tenths clear, and Edoc impressing. Morgan as well up to 4th, which is one of the best showings we've seen from him this season. And Morgan, he's just slowly but surely getting better with every race.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And last race he was actually doing quite well, and of course had the unlucky bit of disconnecting. But speaking of racing points, by the way, Gary up into P1, 300 quicker than his teammate there.
Racing points, highly impressive as they so often are. Watching to see some other drivers. We'll go on with Dylan, since he was the quickest on the first runs, because he is just starting a flying lap now. So let's go with a full lap tracking the Dutchman. Going round now, turn 1, as Cookie has also improved, as with Dan. So all the championship contenders up near the front, and that is what we want to see. We want to see these guys tight on grid position, tight in the race as well, where they're battling toe to toe with each other and giving it everything they have. So Dylan now, he's been relegated down to 6th. He'll be looking to try and improve to the first sector. He's just under a tenth quicker. That's good going for him. Playing around with the gears a little bit, trying to get as much rotation as he can with 3rd gear through Brooklyn, 2nd gear through Lovefield, and now on the exit there puts it up into hot lap, now into overtake as he gets into the higher gears. Cookie gets nicely out of the way, going down towards Cops. Also, this is a corner where you suss out the bravest drivers. He actually downshifts 6th gear, which is an odd choice in my opinion, but we'll see how he's able to get on now. Going through Beckett's, flicks it in now into Chapel, very tight line. He doesn't invalidate, he's still good to go. Did he? That cost him time. It has cost him just a small amount, half a tenth up on his time now, so he's going to have to really throw it into Stowe there to maximise this last sector there. On the throttle now, runs quite wide, maybe just off the track. It's quite close though. We'll see now. Dylan, the Toro Rosso man, exiting final corner onto the curb on exit there, gets a good run. Does he improve? Yes he does. He goes top in fact by just over 100th of a second. A huge final sector from Iro Dylan, and I think there's still more time in that lap, and he is showing to be one of the leading contenders at the moment there, toppling Gary Donegan, championship contender, by 13 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, and it's again a bit of a low point in the session. Callum is now on the lap, so might want to ride on board with him. Just start and come through into Village, difficult corner. He goes for nicely there, a bit of oversteer there, and he backs out of it, it does look like.
Yeah, he does indeed, which I guess is fair enough. Watching now, Super Gamer, I believe, is just about to kick off his lap. He's currently sitting 14th. He's only 8 tenths off pole. It's a very, very tight, very tight field at the moment in D2, as it so often is. And we'll see if Super Gamer is able to get a little bit higher up that grid as he comes through Village there, clipping the apex on the inside now. 2nd gear, missing the apex a little bit of turn 4, having to really grapple for traction on the exit there, trying to get a good run now down the Wellington straight there, under the fly armour sign, and into the first sector. He's a 10.5 up. Good start to the lap for him now. Clips it up, good line through Brooklands, aggressive entry into Luffield, keeps it in 3rd gear. We've seen a lot of drivers going to 2nd there to try and maximise the rotation. Super Gamer opting for stability and traction as a consequence. Now going through into Cops, 8th gear on the approach, almost flat out there, scrubs off a bit of speed though because he is in that 8th gear higher, well, of course a higher gear, lower RPMs. Now 7th gear going through Beckett's, little bit of a compromise line through the remainder of the S section, has to get it back on, keeps it on the exit there, 7 tenths up now, so he is really pushing. He's getting a slipstream from his teammate Matty G. That may have been choreographed, but it's certainly going to help. He gets a very wide entry into Stowe, playing with the throttle, runs off track. He's going to keep it on though, because I don't think that really gained him much time at all. 3rd gear now, bit wide off the line through Club Corner. Let's see what he's able to put up. Super Gamer crosses the line, and I think if it weren't for that mistake at the end of the lap, he may have put himself at the top of the timesheets there.
Yeah, very impressive lap, and still it's all so close with well, half a second separating P1 and P11.
That is just that's just incredible, to be honest. This field has to be the closest in LOE. There's like all the divisions are competitive, but they don't really stack up to Division 2. I'm watching Adri, who I believe is the only driver currently on a flying lap. Of course, got so unlucky on his first attempt. He was about a tenth down, but obviously he's going to gain about 3 seconds, almost 2 seconds or so, going through this final sector. Exiting now, run up to the line. Where does he put himself? Only 14th with a 27.2. He's not had the season he wanted, being the D3 champion, and he's may have time to go round and set another lap, but it won't be on fresh tyres, so it's not looking too positive for the Spaniard.
2 minutes remaining, and we see B Morgan into sector 1.
Yeah, he's
and he backed off because entry to Brooklands wasn't good in his point of view, I reckon. So let's see, V5 might be on the start of his lap.
I love how similar we think. Usually when I flip to a driver, you're like, oh, this so-and-so's on a lap. So, see, great minds think alike, I suppose. V5 coming onto the Wellington straight now. 7th gear, DRS wide open. Got a lot of drivers, of course, on their out lap, setting up to try and put down their quickest times. V5 just fractionally down in the first sector. I'm assuming that he's got time to find on that 28.4. That's not a representative time for a former D1 driver, former D2 title contender as well. So let's see how the Renault man is able to get on now, going down towards Cobb. So again, we see just a slight entry lift as most of the drivers have been doing. We've got both the racing points now on their laps along with others. Let's see how they're able to get on. Oh, V5's invalidated going through Max and Beckett's. He should still be able to set another time. But of course, you can see on the mini-map there, that track is red, so that means he won't be able to improve.
And let's see what Carmenzel is now, because I think he should be able to improve. Usually up there, picking up the win, of course, in Monaco, so very impressive drive from him. Anyways, coming through Cobbs and now up to Maggot and Baggett, and of course Chapel as well. Famous corner section, and such a pleasure to drive if you get it absolutely correct.
Yep.
Coming out of Chapel onto the hangar straight. Let's see. He is apparently purple. I don't think he is actually. He set a false time. Coming up to Stowe, up to second and 5th gear. Keeps nice and clean on the exit and to the last few corners. Comes out a bit over the red curb there on the inside and into 17 as well. Coming for the final corner, where does he put himself? He put himself into P13.
Carmenzel's not as good as he would have hoped. Nico goes top. Let's see how the rest of the field is able to respond. Gary responds emphatically. A 26.3 goes pole by just over a 10. Still some top contenders still to go. We've got Mark puts himself up into P4. Good lap. Cookie Games is coming into the Vale now. Of course, there's other drivers that we look to set a time. Morgan puts himself up to 4th. Good lap from him. Right up at the sharp end of the field. Cookie Games goes 2nd. Just under a 10th. Shy of Gary's mark. Dylan nearing the end of his lap as well. We've still got the likes of Dan and Educk who set quick times earlier on. Oh, Dylan spins! Oh no, Dylan, who was so quick on the first 2 runs, makes an error right at the death as Educk goes top 5. Great effort from Educk. And Dan has invalidated his lap. Oh, there's something I wouldn't have ever expected. Callum up to the line goes 9th. He puts himself up into the top 10. And it's down to, Matty G out of nowhere. He was nowhere the entire session, and he, at the death, takes a short pole position here in Silverstone. I wasn't even watching him. I was watching Harry, who ends up going P11, I believe. Matty G. That is a statement. Edging out Gary Donegan, one of the fastest drivers in Division 2. And wow. And we can see, of course, we know he's had a lot of bad luck this season, not been able to show his true potential at times. And well, if that's what it is, then I'm looking forward to his performance in this race. Matty G takes pole possession.
Then Gary, Cookie, Nico run off to 4, and Dylan, Educk, B. Morgan, Mark, Dan, Callum run up to the top 10. then Harry, Super Gamer, Maledictus, Moppy, Carmenzalis, Adri, and V5 run off the grid. Just want to point out, top 13.5 seconds.
That is just... That's ridiculous.
Just confirms how close this grid is once again.
Yeah, D2, it just continues to amaze. Like, honestly, that is just stunning. That means that there's less than 0.04 of a second on average between each and every driver from P1 to 13. Wow.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah, that's...
and then we have like the guys like Jacob, Rick, and White all not being
yeah.
They'd be in that list as well.
Most likely, yeah. So, of course, especially Jaco, considering it was fighting for the win in the pre-season race. So yeah,
with that battle with Dan on the last lap, that was
so incredible. That was absolutely.
Let's hope we can see some repeats in the slightest of that today.
And hope, first and foremost, that we have a clean race. So here we are now. Everyone's lined up. It's a bit cloudy conditions-wise, but I don't necessarily think we might get rain. I actually hope we don't, because Silverstone usually produces better racing when it's dry, with the DRS able to keep races very close. But Matty G, and he's had such rotten luck all the way through the season. You know, currently sitting just 13th in the standings. Of course, he got the 5th place at France. You know, he's looked like a solid driver when it's got it right, but I don't think anyone could have anticipated this. At the front, and putting all the championship contenders in his rearview mirrors, but of course the man who's most firmly in his rearview mirrors is Mr. Gary Donegan, the Irishman. Probably fancies retaking that championship lead. Dan down in 9th. But there's one thing about Dan, is that he won't he won't finish 9th.
I just want to point out, by the way, there's a few guys outside the top 10 on mediums. And they might be looking to hang on to the DRS and go soft at the end. It might be way faster at the end and trying to get past many people. And those guys are Harry, Super Gamer, Carmenzalis, Adri, and V5.
It's a very interesting point, because Silverstone, for the most part, is quite straightforward on strategy. But of course, these guys going for the reverse strategy will be banking on the end of the race, or a safety car, a well-timed safety car, when they're still out on their medium stints, and they're
yeah. Well, the soft guys already have pitted.
Yeah. Because that would be the dream for them. Of course, watch out for people like Maledictus and Mopey starting further down the grid and opting for those soft tyres. Standard approach, you could say, to strategy here at Silverstone. Anyway, here we are now. Matty G, for I believe the first time in his career, brings the field round. Yep, brings the field round to the grid here in Silverstone. This track usually produces some incredible races. Hopefully D2, as it often does the exact same. So here we are now, all 17 drivers lined up here for what hopefully will be an enthralling race. 3, 4, 5 lights! Lights out, away we go. Matty G gets away from the line. Looks like he's going to be able to convert that start, or is he? No, Gary with a great start. He's already up alongside the Alfa Romeo. They're wheel to wheel going through turn 1 and turn 2. Contact near the back. So Mark was rounding the Ferrari V5 out the session there. As Matty G's been tapped, I think, by Cookie. And there's cars off on the outside of Village there. Cookie's been given a penalty by the stewards. We have a safety car on lap 1. Drama in the first few corners there. The pole sitter getting turned round at turn 2, reminiscent of the 2018 Grand Prix. Wow.
And this could spice up a lot of things, because will someone gamble maybe on the hards and try to finish the race? Because we know the pit lane is quite long here.
Yes, indeed. Of course, I think Adri suffered. Or actually, no. I was looking
Adri
at.
has some damage. Yeah. Mark as well, he got tapped around, I saw. There was a lot of chaos going on there. And maybe a few other drivers. I'm not sure. Mentalist looks clean. Super Gamer, left end plate. Looks to be gone. So all those drivers might be looking to opt for some different strategies, I'm not too sure.
Dylan,
Let's see how
Dylan from 3rd place has disconnected, I believe. Hopefully, if he's able to get back in swiftly, he should be able to avoid losing out on that. But let's see if anyone gambles. None of the front runners do, which is not much of a surprise.
Just want to say, Cookie Games and Super Gamer have both
yeah, one thing.
5-second time penalty.
Yeah, Maledictus is in. Now, I want to see, will any of these drivers try and possibly gamble on the hard tyres as Adri picks up a penalty? And maybe, if they manage it well, take them all the way to the end of the race. Because I don't think that's...
I see a lot of mediums.
Yeah, medium tyres going on Maledictus there. I'd love to see a gamble, you know, but it doesn't look like we're going to...
Adri's going for it. That's not a surprise, honestly. He likes to go for those harder tyres.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
Softs, and then Dan, Maledictus and Mark on mediums. Nico has passed in on the safety car. I'm not sure how that's...
Dylan's not in the lobby.
Yeah, true, but I didn't think you could pass when even when the car is disconnected.
I think I'm looking here. Dylan's car driving, well, obviously very slowly, and you've got Morgan sitting right on the back of him, almost overtaking him on several occasions. That's really unfortunate for Dylan, but yeah, hopefully he is able to get back in. As of course we're waiting for Dan is also one of the guys that pitted at the end of that first lap, so the first lap didn't go the way he wanted. He's on mediums as well, so he's decided to switch up the strategy himself. Let's see where he ends up.
I don't think you can take those mediums to the end though from here.
No, I don't believe you can. As Dylan, thankfully, he's able to get back in. He will be a little bit though before he's able to actually take control of his car.
I think he'll be able to get in before the safety car restart though. So that should be fine.
He has unfortunately lost 3 positions though, which is completely out of his control, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully he doesn't slide down any further. So I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why these guys are able to overtake him. But anyway, of course, Gary Donegan has the start he wanted, getting to the front of the field, but he has the guy he's been fighting the whole season long right on his arse. And of course, the gap only 5 points between these guys in the standings, which means if Cookie's able to take the win off of Gary, he would overtake him in the standings, no matter where Gary finishes, even if he finishes P2 right behind him. So
that's true. He gotta get rid of Gary if he wants to. You gotta get past and rid of him, because with that 5-second time, that's gonna play.
Yeah.
So, he's gonna have to serve that probably under the pit stops.
Was that a stop and go? I'm not
usually
sure
those 5 seconds are quite weird. They're often stop and go.
Right.
But
okay.
It just says a 5-second time penalty. So
well, it's gonna be really difficult for him to pull out a 5-second gap, just with the nature of Silverstone, because it's a very DRS heavy track.
Yeah.
You've got those.
If Gary does make a mistake, though, he could.
Yeah. That would throw it wide open, most certainly. So
definitely.
Since the whole field is together, I do hope that we get back to racing. Is Dylan in the session? He's still a ghost car, so he hasn't been able to get back in. As we've seen another overtake on the safety car. Maybe that's a Moby got past Harry briefly, and that's why the Delta did that. But so some slight confusion there. I'm still
Dylan is back in.
He's back in. Yeah. So hopefully we can get back to racing at the end of this lap and kick this race back off. We've only got a few corners under our belt so far of green flag racing, and now hopefully we can extend on that and have a great time covering this race. Hopefully it is really entertaining as the safety car indeed in this lap.
Let's see how Gary dictates the pace and where he's going to go onto the throttle and try to get away from Cookie there. As Nico, It's one of those slight touches, and you get a penalty for that.
Gary's going on the run down towards Vale. Of course, Nico getting that penalty is a bit odd because he's ahead of Morgan on track, as Cookie made an error going through the Vale. Looks like everyone else has really been left for dead. Callum and Harry going at it there. Despite it being yellow flags, Callum is able to maintain 8th position ahead of the Renault. Now the Greek will try and fight back there. As further behind him, Carmentos looks to the outside of Mope going into turn 1. Now through turn 2, outside, looks like he's going to get that one done on the run. Down towards Village, almost into the back of Harry. Manages to avoid as Super Gamer dicing away with Adri further back as well. Dan's looking to follow through, trying to nick past the Ferrari as well. But further up the road, Gary has made the start he wanted, got that lead. Now Cookie is going to look to hunt him down. Still the field so close there as you'd expect. First lap back from the safety car period there. They're all running in a train. Doesn't look like any moves. Oh, I say that. Maledictus is also dicing with Mark going through Luffield there. Mark on that long way round doesn't quite pull it off. Maledictus holds 13th for the moment. But Gary Donegan.
Harry and Callum side by side into cops. Is this gonna work? They're able each other in enough room. Harry goes a bit wide, but he gets lost.
Carmentos has a run on Callum.
Surely
Callum
not.
shuts it off going into Maggots and Beckett's, which is fair enough. You don't want to be going side by side through there. He makes an error though, going through Beckett's.
Callum has damage.
Callum has front wing damage, so that's why he's been struggling so much, sliding down the field a little bit. Now he's going to look to pick it up. Meanwhile, Dan battling away with Mope in the background there. Carmentos inside down towards Stowe. He has the downforce on the Williams, and he's going to be able to make that move stick there as Callum well off the track. Further back, Dan isn't able to get past Mope, who's going to look to the outside. Maledictus is down the outside of Dan, and does he make the move stick? They're wheel to wheel. Dan, Maledictus when it makes an error on the exit. He's going to drop behind Mark as well there, who slips through into 13th there, but the Red Bull still right on and further up the road there. Matty's round again. Oh, that's out of turn 2. I don't know if he was tapped. I don't know if he spun on his own, but the pole setter again just doesn't have it, goes all the way. But further up the road, we're having some spectacular racing. Mark muscles his way past Maledictus, now wheel to wheel with Super Gamer. Further back there, the Alfa Romeo alongside the Red Bull down towards Brooklands. They touch slightly on the straight, as now going down into Brooklands, Maledictus forced to back off. Super Gamer up that position. He's got the grippier tyres compared to these guys, and down the inside Mark makes an error, and opportunistic driving from the Alfa. He picks up yet another place into P12 now behind the championship leader Dan, currently sending up ahead of him. Meanwhile, up in the battle for the lead, it's looking like a 3-horse race there as Gary Donegan pulls away just a little bit. Nico though is keeping those two championship retainers honest there, staying with it in 3rd place at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking very impressive, and don't count B. Morgan and Dylan out if they're still within that seconds. Let's see these 5 drivers can just pull away. Meanwhile, it's Malpi down the inside of Callum. Into Stowe, still side by side. Callum gets the better exit. Looks like Dan looking to benefit as well. Super Gamer. Oh, it's also close there.
Super Gamer looking very feisty. He gets a run on the exit of Club. He's up and alongside Dan already over the curb though, and Dan has to avoid. Whoa, that could have been nasty there, and somehow they're able to just about get away with it. Further up the road though.
Village.
Further up the road.
Oh. Super Gamer and Dan going at it
again with Dan. Dan eventually has to yield that position, so he is now down to 12 on the edge of the points there. Dylan to the inside of Morgan, going through Brooklands. Morgan holds it round the outside. He's keeping it alive, but eventually has to back off, going into Luffield, and Dylan shuts it off. He's up to 4th there, recovering after that safety car period, and he's still not out of this race yet. If those top 3 start battling, don't count him out, and he's still well in contention along with Morgan if he's able to keep up.
Yeah, definitely.
Mope pulls to the inside of Callum, not quite into co-ops. Of course, Callum holding all these guys up with his damage. And Super Gamer, who we've seen, he's not been afraid to pull off the moves so far in this race. He sits behind the former D4 driver. Going through Chapel now. DRS is going to be activated. Cookie Games, not close enough, but he is in with a shout. He's searching for that move. Now Mope pulls to the inside of Callum. He's already clear. Now Super Gamer looks to follow through inside of Stowe. Wheel to wheel with the Williams. He's going to get it. Now is Dan going to be able to take advantage of this? Callum's way down to the corner and almost pulls to the inside. Goes defensive from Dan behind him. and the championship leader must be frustrated at the moment, unable to make the progress he wants. Of course, he is on those medium tyres, but heavily compromised race currently running in this train for him.
Yeah, definitely. Dylan just at the fast lap of the race. Looks like he has great pace at the moment. Of course, the DRS and Nico made a little error there. Might be helping Dylan to get back in the DRS.
He is in the DRS of Nico. Nico, though, is not in the DRS of the top two. Mark, again with maledictions. I swear, in most of the races, these guys find themselves with each other on track. Further, Carmentos defending from Harry. Harry's down the inside into Luffy. If he can keep it alongside, he might just win that place. Wheel to wheel, though, with the Toro Rosso. Good momentum. Carmentos holds it around the outside and keeps that 7th place. But I don't think it's going to be over by a long shot. Harry searches for it, but no way through. Into Cobbs. But now further back.
Harry almost losing out of Cobbs there.
Just about able to keep it alive as Mopey got, well, this is quite intimidating. He's got Super Gamer, he's up in a field of these D2 vets. He's doing a good job at the moment, you have to say, holding his own against these experienced drivers.
But pulling upside Callum there. Looks to be an easy move.
I'm currently watching this battle up ahead there. Super Gamer pulls to the outside but can't quite make the move. Now he's going to get a run on the exit of Stowe, inside towards Vale. No, that's covered off nicely as Callum, with that damage, finally decides it's time to pit. Lap 8 of this race. He'll probably just go for a long stint on the mediums because that's his best bet, trying to get back in this race.
Yeah, definitely. So top 5 is now close up and onto the Wellington straight. Can anyone make a move? Not too close to each other just yet.
Well, tell you who is making a move. It's Super Gamer down the inside of Moby, but can't quite get it done. Now exit a turn 4. He gets a much better run than the Ferrari man, and that's going to be an easy move. Slips through and finally gets that move done after some great fighting between these two. But yeah, the top 4 all within DRS of each other. Morgan not far outside, and Educk doing a very, very good job at the moment. He's not had the season he wanted so far, but currently sitting in a very respectable P6 at the moment with no one really near him.
Yeah, definitely very absent race, if you want to say, but he's doing his job. He's trying to get those points in, and that'll do the job for him. Let's see, onto the hangar straight. It's Nico closing up to Cookie Games. Can he make a move into Stowe? I don't think he's close enough just yet because he's turned his ERS down.
Just hangs back for now, does the Spaniard, but he is looking like he's got some really strong pace. Of course, he made that error and he's recovered. It's Cookie that's really struggling though, because he's coming under pressure now from Nico, and Dylan has closed up considerably on this lap. Look at where he is now, and that's why. Fastest lap for the Dutchman, and putting himself right up there in this fight for the win. Gary is edged out in front, but with how powerful the DRS is, he's going to have to work really hard to get that gap over a second and maintain that. But that's it, that Cookie's made a massive error coming out of turn 4, and he's out of that now. A massive commentator scores on my end. I do apologise, Cookie, but now Nico has got a run on him down towards Brooklyn's inside line. Now does he make it stick? The Red Bull holds it round the outside with momentum, gets it side by side, still on the curb on the exit of Brooklyn's now inside on the left field. He's got his nose ahead. Can he get his full car ahead though? Yes, he does. Just about squeezing out the Spaniard now. Does Dylan fancy a go of it? No. Nico is going to try and fight back, but I don't think there's any point of going for it into Cops. And now Gary, he may have just got the break they needed. He's just outside of that 1 second window. Can he hold it? Going through Magnus and Beckett's. Cookie is going to be furious. Can he translate that into his drive and get that gap back down? Gary out in front and just about keeping that gap afloat, but Cookie is pressing him hard still. But is Nico going to do his teammate a favour here and push the Red Bull man to the limit?
Doesn't look like it. Dylan looking very feisty as well and trying to search for a gap. It's not there at the moment. Cookie is looking to get back within that DRS of Gary, which he is at the moment, but just about, so he needs to hang on to that. Meanwhile, Dylan on the back of Nico very close now, 2 tenths. Because turn 1 a bit, Dylan loses a bit of time, it looks like. The Cookie Games looks to be inside of the DRS, and he has actually got the DRS because the Export is in the village.
He's done it again.
He makes him.
Yeah, exact same error as last lap, but really good effort from Cookie getting himself back in that. As Dylan closing up to Nico, not quite close enough, no.
Harry incrementalist might be one to look out for. Let's see if anything happens into here. It doesn't look like it. Incrementalist got a better exit. Further down the grid, no battles. Just a big terrain, isn't it? Behind Super Gamer at the moment.
Dylan is
close up to the back of
close.
Nico. Is he looking at it?
No
Running
way.
out of the cops. No way. Nico
Goes a better
holds it.
exit.
Dylan, switch back. Can he get it?
Surely not. No, he has to back off, surely. Wow. These guys, surely sensible enough not to go side by side. I've never seen a switchback out of a 7th gear near 300 km/h corner. That is something you don't often see. But Cookie Games closing back Rainey and Gary, and he's firmly within that DRS range now.
Let's see, I think the pit stop should be coming soon. Of course, these guys haven't be able to.
Oh, the championship rivals. Both
and
the championship rivals pet. And
Dylan as well. Let's see if Cookie has to serve his 5-second penalty there. And
it's a very good point, because it'll put him behind Morgan for sure. I think he might just be ahead of Edoc. Of course, all these guys in the pit lane. Let's watch. If Cookie doesn't have that stop go, he might just jump Gary. Oh no, yeah, he has got it. He has got it. So they have to wait 5 seconds to serve him. That's going to be really crippling for him in this race. Gary is already clear, and he is now out and away in this race now with a gap over Dylan.
Cookie got lucky that B Morgan got held up a bit by as he's like at the front of the pit lane. So
he's lost so much time as Morgan.
Yeah, a lot of guys came in and being in that Mercedes. He's going to suffer there. Harry close to the back of Commentalist actually now.
And these two have been dicing away. Oh, Carmentos wide through Luffield and almost giving up that place. Matty G on his recovery does get past Mope out of the pits, but really, he's just going to be so frustrated after grabbing that pole position with a stunning lap right at the end of the session. Currently out of the points, he's going to have to work really hard to get back in contention. He might still have to make another stop, but watching again, up near the front of the field, it's Harry versus Carmentos as it's been all the way through. Harry is closer this time. Maledictus picks up a penalty. Harry's going to look to search for that there. He's gaining all the time now. DRS is open. Carmentos leaves the inside open, and that's easy prey for the Renault man. He goes up into second place. Nico, race leader, into the pits. Where does he come out? I think where he comes out relative to Dylan is going to be a real one to watch out for. Dylan really trying to close down onto Gary. He's done good on this lap. The gap is down to 1.3 seconds now.
One person to look out for is still Adri, of course, on those hards, and he's looking to have decent pace actually. They're doing low 31s. Those hards is actually quite fast. Could he throw in a surprise here?
Can Adri win this race? Wow, that would be stunning. Gary does jump Nico. Does Dylan jump Nico? Yes, he does, and comfortably. I don't know what happened. I think Nico might. Oh, Nico had that penalty from the safety car, which is probably.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is quite unfair because it was actually Morgan that hit him as opposed to the other way around. But Nico, that's going to drop Big Cookie and actually almost falling into the clutches of Edoc there. So that's a better blow for the youngster, and he's going to have to work his way back in. But one man who is working his way back in is Dylan, because he is reeling in the championship contender Gary, currently sitting P2 in the standings, and Dylan, who he showed in qualifying. Of course, he made that error on his last run, and apart from that, he has looked like the quickest driver, or very close to that, the whole way through this tonight, really. So now, closing in on Gary, those two have really set themselves apart from the rest of the field for the pit stop phase. I think we're looking at Gary versus Dylan Joe here for the win, but still a long way to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's still Harry incrementalist quite close to each other, and Dan trying to reel these two in, as he's got Mark and Maledictus in behind still. Let's see.
Dan is just... Dan's just not. He's just had a very uncharacteristic race. Not that much of it is his fault, but it's just like being stuck in traffic, and he doesn't seem to have that pace he really wanted.
Dylan into the 29s.
2 tenths quicker than Gary. 2 tenths quicker than Gary. Gary,
is he going to be in that second? It's going to be really close.
Over the line. I think he might have been. I think he might have been.
I think he... Depends on the braking point. It depends on the braking point, but...
Let's see. No, he doesn't have DRS. He doesn't have it. He just missed it by what must be a couple of hundredths of a second. But look at the gap now. It's within 9 tenths. 8.5 between them, almost 8. So, Dylan again, apart from that last running quali, he has been the quickest driver out there. Gary, he's got his work cut out if he wants to end this race. Dylan is showing himself to be a league above at the moment. They're in the 29s in this medium stint and putting increasing pressure here on the Irishman.
Yeah, definitely, as we see Carmental as his teammates closing up to Harry for the lead of the race. Carmental is closing up into Stowe, but I don't think he's closing up here. Nico getting a time penalty then. Might be vital, honestly. Let's see. No moves down into 16.
Maledictus is doing a decent job, to be honest, keeping Mark and Dan honest on pace on this track. Given that he's not had a great start to this season, he's making a decent account of himself. Now Gary is catching Adri very rapidly, as you'd expect, and dragging Dylan with him. But Adri, of course, he could still... I reckon Adri, there's a chance he might even be able to get a podium here. If he's able to keep it on the island, at least a top 5, I think, is in store for the Spaniard here, which would be a dream result for him in this division, because he's not had the season that he would have hoped, and at the moment, looking brilliant out there.
And don't count out someone like Harry or Commensalist, who would be pinning quite soon, I reckon, in the next couple laps. They'll be going on to softs, they'll be quite fast. That's what they can do. But now Dylan close to the back of Gary, actually. This could be a battle to watch.
I am certainly looking forward to this. There, the Toro also taking on the Racing Point here off at the front. Dylan came out the pits, I think it was just under 2 seconds behind Gary. In a handful of laps, he has completely cut that gap down. And Gary is going to be completely aware of that. He's seen that gap come down himself. I know he's pushing. I know how much he wants this championship. He's going to be putting everything into every single lap. And still, it might be futile to hold back the charge of Dylan, because now the DRS is open for the first time. He has, so he's not close enough to make a move going into Stowe. But the pressure is on Gary now. Does he? This is going to be a real test.
Maledictus and Mark down in side by side down into turn 1. Still
not over yet.
There.
And Mark eventually has to back up. But what I was saying is that, you know, this is going to be a real test of Gary's mental fortitude. Does he have it in himself to win out in this battle against the guy that's been able to chase him down? That's going to be key here in this championship fight. Carmental's closing down Harry there towards Brooklyn. He doesn't go for the move, hangs back. These guys have been so evenly matched on pace, and it continues to be so, just as we're seeing with Mark.
Dylan, and close up to Gary.
For the lead.
Outside
into Brooklyn. He's passed him already on the straight, and a Mark Webber-esque move. Down goes Dylan into the lead there. The Toro also up in front. Does Gary have an answer? Dylan has been supreme since the pit stops, and now he has that net lead of the race to boot. But he's still got other contenders. He's got Adri to catch, he's got Harry Carmentalist, that whole pack of medium runners, and of course Gary still right with him. So do not count the others out of this race. But Dylan at the moment is in pole position to get this. Does Gary have an answer?
Oh, looking at the rounding outside, switch back.
Gets a good run, he's got him in front, and they both pit.
Ooh, that's
top 2
interesting. Dan staying out, Maledictus and Mark are staying out as well. So now, let's see where these guys come out. Very interesting to see that.
Yep, because obviously they have that tyre disadvantage. They've had that for all 16 laps this race so far, just over 15 really. So now we're going to see where they truly stand. Dylan and Gary are already through. That gap between Dylan and Gary is extending. Can Gary stay in that DRS rate? I don't know. Dylan just looks so imperiously quick. Now we're looking Carmentalist and Harry. They have slid well down the field. Matty G even ahead of him along with Super Gamer. But these two drivers are going to be on a charge. Watch some supreme lap times coming out from them. They've got a lot of drivers to overtake to get a good result, but they're going to have a huge quick advantage.
I think they could even, if they do it all perfectly, they could even catch to the likes of Nico and Cookie. They're not too far up ahead if you look at the track map.
Well, yeah, because the field is so close as a whole. Like from from Cookie downwards, you're really not looking at big gaps here, despite being relatively far into the race. But now,
Gary closing up to Dylan.
I don't think he's close enough though.
Nah, it doesn't look like it so far. I reckon no pit stops for these guys. Harry picking up time penalty.
I think Gary is running quite low wings, just looking at it, because even with his ERS down, he was cruising up to Dylan there, catching several tenths on the straight. So I think Dylan is running slightly higher downforce. Let's see if that works to his disadvantage. In a fight like this, it's going to be dictated by straight line speed largely, but we know he has just such good raw pace around this track. I'd love to see Matty G in this fight, because I think he would have given these guys a real run for their money. And Dylan opens up.
Looking at that Matty G train, basically. We're also close here. Doesn't look like any move so far, but maybe onto the Wellington straight, something could happen. Moppy leading this train is a 5-car train so far, and these guys on soft Carmentalist and Harry wanted to get past. Carmentalist closing up to the back. Yeah.
Carmentalist first up there, inside a Super Gamer. Into Brooklands, he's up in front, but Super Gamer's not giving it up though. He's round the outside, runs slightly off track at Brooklands. They got to be careful not to make contact. Carmentals has to hold it round the outside. Does he make it? There's space given by Super Gamer. They're really going at it. Super Gamer's through the grass, and he has to yield eventually. Carmentals, he puts a car between himself and Harry. Up at the front though, on track. Mark cruises through on Maledictus. Adri is actually, look at Adri. He is reeling these guys in there, showing great pace on these hards. Now I think Dylan and Gary, it does look like it's a formality. As Matty G, oh no.
Because this throws some safety car into the span of things.
Yeah, full safety car. Full safety car. That is huge. But Dance has gone past the pits, so he won't be able to take advantage of that.
But the
leaders are in.
Get past, and Cookie's in.
Cookie's in. That is huge.
Nico's in. And I see someone else. I think that's Moppy is in. Super Gamer's in.
Wow.
That's a risky call.
It is indeed. Especially for a championship contender like Cookie. Because...
Callum, 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately.
Right, this is... well...
We'll have a sprint, and this doesn't help Adri, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's really... again, Adri,
It does help someone like ILT Dan, just saying, he could still pit, because the gaps are still quite big.
Yeah, but he is... Ooh, let's see. Because everyone's still driving to the same delta until the end of this lap, I believe. So, yeah...
yeah, because safety car parked in the one.
Gary picks up a penalty. I think that isn't a safety car, so I'm pretty sure he might be able to get that one removed.
Still, like... if he actually went off track, you know...
I mean, I see your point, but... Okay, I don't know, because he's not really gaining... He's not gaining an advantage on the slightest. Does Dan Pett? Of course he does. Dan Petts for what I'm assuming will be soft tyres, and Mark and Maledictus.
And Adri. Let's see if Dylan does the same. Dylan does the same. Does Gary follow him? Yes, he does.
Oh!
Oh! Is anyone going to decide to stay out and maybe take a risk? I don't think Edok and B. Morgan would they? Would they?
Edok stays out.
Edok decides.
Morgan stays out as well. Right, where do these guys emerge? Do they come out amongst that train? Because when they go over the line, they will be able to drive near enough flat out. Does Edok grab the lead of this race from Dan? Yes, he will. Easily, in fact. Edok, former D3 driver. I know he might not hold this to the end of the race, but he's in first. And Morgan...
let's see, Carmentalist and Harry.
Are they going to get onto the podium? Carmentalist and Dan almost wheel to wheel. Carmentalist gets that position. Harry just jumping. Mark barely. Look at that, they're wheel to wheel under safety car.
And this demotes Gary and Cookie into P10 and P11. and the championship leader, RLT Dan, into P4. This is amazing.
Are you not entertained? ILRT Dan, who has had probably one of his most frustrating races of the season, is now in with a shout of a race win here.
And just don't get at Edok or B Morgan, because even though they're on older mediums, there's still a lot of DRS here, you know?
Wow. Yeah, Edok and Morgan, they may, if there is a DRS train, they may be able to avoid sliding well down the field. Are we going to get back to racing this lap? I don't know. It's going to be tight because Callum is a long way off.
I doubt it. I think it's going to be next one because it came out in lap, I want to say end of lap 17. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think it will go for another lap. We'll just wait until I think it's over this line, going to the third sector. Nah.
Yeah, no, it's staying for one more lap.
So
it gives these drivers something to rest about and think about how they're gonna approach these final few laps.
Let's see. I want to see how Dylan. Like, this is one thing because of the safety car frequency now. It kind of just gives such a disadvantage to some people because Dylan now race leader net race leader before the safety car now currently sits 8th with when there's cars ahead of him that have the same age of tyres. I think Dylan could have potentially gambled and stayed out, but in that case, with 2 cars between him and the next soft runner, you know, I wouldn't say he was completely out of it yet, but now he's going to have to put on a spectacular overtaking performance if he even wants to get on the podium here. So, of course, most of these drivers on fresh softs. Gary and Cookie, the guys sitting second and third in the standings, they are going to have their work cut out if they want to get into the high points paying positions. Dan is in the driving seat here.
Yeah, definitely. People with penalties, I don't want to check them honestly, just to throw in even more of a surprise for the viewers. Just gives us even more excitement. The driver penalties will suffer from this a bit.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many though. I think this has been quite a clean race overall.
There's a few drivers I've seen pick up penalty, like one penalty.
Yeah.
That's it, basically.
I don't think anyone's going to lose out incredibly. We will still have 6 laps for everything to sort itself out, spread itself out. But it's going to be Edok. Who would have thought this? As a D3 title contender before getting moved up. Now he is going to lead as Maledictus picks up a penalty. Hopefully, maybe he'll get that one removed. But Edok, I wonder how daunting this is for him. A safety car is going to come in. From D3 for the last 2 seasons, he now leads a D2 safety car restart.
Don't forget B Morgan, because he made switch to the wheel at the start of the season.
Yeah.
He's gradually improved, and now he's up for winning performance, at least podium.
It's so much that can happen.
Keeps a consistent pace. We even a bit. Where does he want to go?
Goes now.
He goes now. Ooh, unexpected. Anyone caught out by that? It's Harry and Dan again alongside there.
Dan holds that possession though. Harry's compromised his run now. He has Mark right on the back of him now. Carmentos, he's got the tyre advantage on the 2 ahead of him, but not
Gary.
Gary side by side with Adri. No, not quite.
And he makes a mistake. Cookie closing up. Could we see a move down into Village?
Oh, he has a look, but not quite. Doesn't follow through on it now. Further up the road, we're seeing more battling there. Maledictus, Dylan's round. Dylan losing out. He's lost out. And behind Gary now, Cookie's going to have a run on him. Dylan, after driving such a good race, maybe suffering here now. He's got Cookie on the back of him. Carmentos through on B Morgan now, using that tyre grip. If he can put cars between himself, Dan, and the rest of the soft runners, it may keep him in good stead. I can't even get my words out because of the excitement there. We got a huge train in this midfield now. Nico hounding the back of Cookie Games there, the Racing Point and the Red Bull, almost into cops there. Maybe had almost a look at Nico as well. Drivers with different backgrounds, really having at it, but up at the front, Edok holds his lead.
Dylan has damage, that's why.
Oh no, Dylan, that's why he's dropping back.
Contact with Mark. There was a glove chaos into turn 4. So Cookie wants to get past now, does he?
Closing in that slipstream now. The Toro Rosso, he wants it as soon as he can. To the inside towards Stowe. Risky move there. Tight line. And does he keep it alongside? They almost touched that. He's got to be so careful. Does Cookie, and eventually just backs off. Losing time. And this is Gary's opportunity to try and get as many cars between himself and Cookie as he can, and try and get as close to Dan as he can, who's got his teammate in front of him. I don't imagine Morgan's going to fight that one too hard. How's it going to go down at Mercedes?
Yeah, just because for a team order into the works as Cookie Games on the inside of Dylan and the Village. Tire banging there. Cookie Games trying for the switchback.
Oh, he makes an error. He makes an error.
And then Nico on the back.
Nico with a run.
Ahead.
On Cookie Games, does he pull to the inside towards Brooklands? Has a look, he's going for it on the brakes. No, Cookie so deep there mid-corner, has to defend as the Mercedes are gonna swap. So Morgan concedes that position to his teammate Dan. As now Harry on the fresh tyres now closing in. He's got Maledictus right on the back of him. I don't know where to look. Dan picks up a penalty! I can't believe it! That is...
Wow. Mentalist pick up second win of the season here. Moppy getting a time penalty there. This is such an exciting race. Let's see. There's almost a 3-second gap between Gary and Dylan's.
So this is huge now. Cookie's got to run on Dylan now. He needs to get it here done. And now does he go to the inside of Stowe? I'm watching this battle there with Cookie right the outside of Dylan. He's got the downforce. Can he get the move? Yes, he does. He is through on Dylan there. Carmental is now chasing onto Edok. Edok has done a stellar job since this restart. Callum picks up a penalty. Mopey losing places at chicane. The two Ferrari sitting at the back. He had a half spin, I believe. Now, Edok.
Mark sets the fastest lap, 29.6.
And immediately gets a penalty. Wow, I can't...
As Maledictus to the back of Harry, makes a slight touch, and Adri will be looking to benefit from that. Spaniard closing up to the Portuguese man, the Iberian battle. Randy outside, goes Adri, the McLaren driver. Nico picking up time penalty.
Rowney outside goes Adri. Oh, he's giving him a squeeze, he squeezes him. Into Luffield, does the McLaren man get ahead? He squeezes it right off the track. Maledictus is off after being forced wide by the Spaniard of Adri. And the Iberian battle, well, that was a feisty Iberian battle, most certainly.
Super Gamer and Callum for P12 even, for the last point playing position.
No way.
Side by side now.
Synchronized spin on! They've been hit by Mope. Huge crash down at Cops. And yeah, that's just the nature of Cops, isn't it? You can't really go side by side through there. And still, Edok holds this lead.
Yeah, he's looking to be managing his eras quite well. As a few other drivers behind to have some issues with that, looking at it. And now moves down into 16. Nico getting past Dylan into Stowe, but still side by side. Didn't get a better exit. Nico switched back in.
Oh, he squeezed him tight to the apex and holds the position.
Yeah, I don't think Dylan expected him to go there. Cookie Games now setting the fastest lap. And this is still a 7-car train for the lead.
As Mopey pits there after that contact. Carmentos now, this is his chance. He's already got one round this season in a crazy race at Monaco and a crazy race at Silverstone. Will he be able to deliver? He's going to run on Edok for the lead. Edok goes defensive, he wants this so badly, but to the inside goes Carmentos. Locks up a little bit. Edok's still there, he has the better run now inside into left field. Carmentos holds the momentum. Outside line. Does he make it stick? There's still wheel to wheel. Slight slide from Edok. Carmentos, they're wheel to wheel going down towards Cops. Do either of them want to yield? No way. Jose, because down the inside goes Edok. He gets the move done. Carmentos with a penalty. And now both the drivers behind Edok have penalties. Is Edok going to take the most unlikely victory here? Holding on these aging tyres. Still he holds that net lead.
Carmentos is now very close to the back of Edok. Can he get past? Down into Stowe. Onto the inside, 5% ERS, and Dan looking in behind as well. Running out of Carmentos.
Can he hold it inside?
Getting through Edok. Dan getting through as well. And still
Edok down the inside. No. Oh, does he hold it? Yes, he does. Morgan on the inside. Is Morgan going to win this race? I don't. Battery might win this race. Who knows what happens at this point?
I think Carmentos is down and Morgan has penalties. Edok has damage. Could Adri pick up the win here?
Wow, this has been the most enthralling race. I don't even know. I don't even want to check what the penalties are. Oh, down the inside goes Gary on Adri. Makes the move, forces Adri out wide, but I think it's just about fair. Adri loses out Gary up to 5th. Is Gary going to win this race after starting this safety car period? Out of the top 10, Carmentos and Dan both have penalties. It's crazy to say that for Dan, but
I think even Gary has a penalty. So
Gary does have a penalty. Yeah, that is very true. Cookie Games now. Now, does he have a penalty? I'm not sure. I don't even want to calculate it.
No, this is too much. This is honestly too much. Dan and Carmentos are still close to the back of each other into cops. And B. Morgan the same to E-Dog. He has a bit of
He's got some outside. Don't try it to Maggots. Don't do that. He has to back off. Gary now hounding the back of these two now. Further up at the front there, Dan. These guys are pulling away. Look at the gap to E-Duck now, because E-Duck has that damage. Yeah. So they could still get a 1-2 in this race. So it means this could still be the fight for the win here. Up at the front, Morgan pulls alongside E-Duck. Further back for the podium. Slips through on the straight. Morgan is P3, I think, and Gary follows through. What a fantastic overtaking showcase we're seeing from Gary. Blitzing his way up the field, and Cookie has caught these guys. Adri dives it down the inside of Edok and makes the move stick. Edok sliding through the field after that damage. Now he's got Cookie right on the back of him. Maledictus right there as well. Final lap here in Silverstone. It has been one of the greatest races I've ever commentated on, has to be said. Dan now
back off Mentalist. He's pushing the Toronto drivers
through,
and Cookie
gets through.
Gonna pass.
Dan
Let's
now.
see, Dan, can he get past? Or is he going to be... He's completely Dan style.
He's got
sitting back.
He's got 3 lap fresher tyres, but he doesn't have the move going into Brooklyn's there. He's going to have to set up later on. Gary right on the back of B. Morgan. I still think these two might be 1-2 when it's all said and done. I'm not sure.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I have no clue. I honestly have no clue.
Half a lap to go here at Silverstone. Carmentos still holds this lead. Gary hounding Morgan behind. 2 Mercedes locked in battle for these high podium positions there. And I do not think the drama is over for 1 second, especially Maledictus even hounding Edok further back there. But now, final sector here. Carmentos is down on his ERS. Cookie picks up a penalty. That could be huge. That could be decisive even. Now, Dan runs on Carmentos. Does he try it towards Still Pulls to the outside? No, he's further back into the corner. He's got to rely on his exit there. He goes off track. Now, does he try and set it up into the field? Carmentos defending with everything he's got. Final corner. Dan's looking at the inside. I don't think he's going to make it though. Carmentos, does he hold it? Dan makes an error. Going through the final corner. Carmentos crosses the line. Does he get the win? Adri takes it! Adri takes it in absolutely dramatic style. A shock win for Adri here. Gets it on penalties.
Honestly, what a race to officiate to. Well done.
Wow. I'm actually on the verge of losing my voice. I have no words. Absolutely no words. Look at the gaps. Just look at them. Appreciate them. The top 7, I don't think there was more than 3 seconds separating them.
No, top 7 is 3.5 seconds. This has been an enthralling race.
Well,
and we've said this before, but this has got to be the best race of the season. Always delivers.
I think I do apologise if the commentary was a little bit overhyped from us too. I don't think we could comprehend what was going on in front of us there. And Adri, I think to be honest, after he had his strategy compromised, I think that's deserved, to be honest. You know, he was managing the tyres so well. I don't think he would have won without the safety car, but wow, I'm so glad we got that safety car period, because wow, we were treated to six of the most entertaining laps I have ever seen in racing. Not in LOE, not in league racing, not even in F1, in racing as a whole. That was just unbelievable. Less than 3 seconds covering the top 6.
Yeah, definitely. So Adri takes up the win ahead of Carmentos and Dan on the podium. B. Morgan, Gary, Edok and Cookie all within that train still. Then Maledictus, Mark, Nico, Harry and Dylan ran off the points paying positions. Super Gamer and Callum and Moppy fortunately fallen outside of that, and Matty G and V5 both not finishing, unfortunately. And Moppy taking up the fast lap as well, so no points for him, but at least it's a nice nice good win.
I think there's about 9 drivers that could have won that race.
It's something like that. I couldn't even keep count of it, but
oh man, absolutely unbelievable. I genuinely don't think I've commentated on a better race. That was just
I can agree on that.
I think I'm still catching my breath, to be honest. So
Yeah.
I think me and myself and Verstappen are gonna have to go into some sort of rehab after that. But I'm sure you guys were thoroughly entertained, as were we, and I'm sure as the drivers were as well. So to sign off after that. To wrap things up, I've been Dak, he's been Verstappen. We'll see you next time.